Hi, this is Tina and you're watching Money 9. Today we are going to talk about life insurance industry which saw a sharp spike in death in the second term. This was also the time when we saw a jump in premium collection because of increased consumer awareness. To discuss this and more, today we are joined by Vibha Patalkar, CEO and MD at HDFC Life. Thank you Vibha for joining today on this edition of Trending at Money 9. Vibha, during the first quarter of this year, we saw a sudden jump in COVID claims, which was around 3 to 4 times of the first wave. So, based on the visibility we have now, do you see any emerging trend as per COVID as well as non-COVID claims?
Yes, happy to say that the peak of what we witnessed, this was in the months of April and May, that has noticeably gone down, especially in what we call as individual or retail claims. And just as a quick recap, if you were to look at what we went through in quarter one, with the highlights being what we witnessed in the 2 months I talked about, the height of that was about 3 to 4 times the peak of wave one. And this meant that our gross claims were about just shy of 1600 crores and net claims was 956 crores. From that peak, we have started coming down, and we are hopeful that this trend of moving downwards continues. In anticipation of these claims, we did set up a reserve to strengthen our balance sheet by about 700 crores, and that is very much in line with the trends that we are seeing. Group claims is something that is still coming through because it has a slightly longer reporting period or slightly longer IBNR, which is incurred but not yet reported. So, watching it carefully, I think over the next 45 to 60 days, we will know for sure where we have come out as an industry.
Okay, that's a good news. There is some decline in the claims. But also want to ask you that during the second wave, we saw people complaining about not being able to buy term insurance. It was mainly because there were restrictions were there, medical examination was not so easy, and technicians were not able to visit the house. So compared to that, how easy or difficult is it to buy term insurance as of now?
It has certainly eased off, wherein people are now slowly able to get their at least some of their medical tests done. For example, a chest X-ray, especially if they've been a COVID patient in the past. Or even if they have not been a COVID patient, a lot of them are now willing to go in for some basic tests that one can't do at home. For example, a treadmill test. Having said that, even today, there is a fair amount of reluctance. And so, out of every 100 people who might want to buy term insurance, we are probably able to issue only about 62. And however, we are slowly seeing that trend of conversions increasing, wherein we don't have to go back to people and ask them to defer for some time until they are reasonably comfortable to go in for their medicals or engage further with us. So this to and fro will go on, I think, until we have reasonable normalcy or return to normalcy.
From the customer's perspective, I want to ask how easy or difficult will it be for COVID survivors to get insurance going forward?
Absolutely. We have no problem in issuing policies to COVID survivors. Yes, there might be some waiting period, for example, if they have just come out of it, but otherwise, no long term implications on just because they are a COVID survivor. Having said that, if there is some long term damage that has unfortunately that has resulted to them, for example, some other lung related illnesses or something else that has happened, we will have to put that case through the normal medical underwriting that we do even before COVID hit us. But no blanket implications of COVID survivors. They can certainly, after they get better and back to normalcy, they can certainly apply for a life insurance cover.
Also, want to know has the underwriting criteria changed for the company because we saw large number of claim? Does it mean the higher premium for customers going forward?
I do hope that pandemic does not impact pricing in a big manner, because pandemic by its very nature means that it's a once in a lifetime kind of a occurrence, and not a sustained implication on the health of a particular region or particular set of people. um, and so the repricing that we saw back in time, led by reinsurers increasing their prices, actually had nothing to do with the pandemic. It was just that the timing coincided, unfortunately, with the pandemic. It was just that India itself, per se, was one of the places that enjoyed fairly attractive and fairly low levels of term pricing. So, to your question, I think we do hope that this pricing does not get impacted in a big manner due to COVID. The only caveat is that there's something called long COVID, which today nobody really knows to the extent to which this pandemic could have a long-term effect on the health of people. That will unravel over the next few years. But as of today, nothing, no direct correlation wherein rates have to go up significantly.
That's a good news that the rates will not go up significantly because of the large claims that we saw. But apart from protection plans, which are the product categories in which you have seen an increased traction?
We have seen very good traction in two, three types of policies. One is that in the non-par or non-participating or interest rate protection kind of policies. We have been one of the first movers in this space under our Sanchay Plus umbrella. That continues to do well, and people are becoming increasingly aware as to how at least certain portion of their savings should not be exposed to market volatility. And this is the fourth leg of risk, if you like, wherein we all know about mortality, morbidity, longevity, and this is the fourth, which is interest rate risk. So that category has come into its own. Second category that's doing very well is the annuity category, wherein again on the back of people slowly becoming aware that when they retire, they are likely to outlive their retirement age easily by 20-25 years. And with inflation continuing to be fairly high, net of inflation, their savings are going to be close to zero. So how do they protect themselves from this erosion? So that we grew over 60% just in the annuity space. Term, although what we discussed, current bearish phase because of the pandemic and some of the headwinds due to medical tests and so on, but the long term story continues to be intact on term. So these are some of the segments, and credit life is the fourth one, which is again now doing well, because last year banks, NBFCs, MFIs had a freeze on their lending. They did go into a bit of a shell. Now they're back almost to normalcy, and we are piggybacking that, wherein growth has been 200 to 300%. And the degrowth since 2 years ago is close to being wiped out. So again, that has seen a lot of traction.
You mentioned about Sanchay Plus. It's the immensely popular scheme of the company, and we have seen people going for it because of the guaranteed return given by the policy, which is as high as 6%. So, when the interest rates are so low, can you tell us? Can you tell us how does the company manage to give it? What is the reason behind the success of Sanchay Plus?
So we are able to lock in at much longer tenor, bonds of longer tenor, because these are long natured products, and we're able to pass it on, the benefits to the policy holders, of course keeping a spread, but otherwise the benefits are passed on. And we are also able to use a lot of hedges, both internal as well as external. External would be in the nature of forward rate agreements. Internal would be some other book that also invests in very longer tenured bonds. And a combination of those factors means that we are able to give that kind of a return to the policyholder, and that, like you mentioned, has caught the imagination of people, and they know that when some certainty that absolutely they have, because you have to remember that a life insurer cannot reprice no matter what, especially in a non-par construct. So it is as good as gold, and they would be able to get this assured return as and when they have planned for it.
Also, want to ask you, due to COVID, there has been a slowdown and many people have lost their jobs. Do you have seen any impact in the persistency ratio of the company? Has it gone down or is it the same level as before?
I'm happy to say that our persistency continues to go from strength to strength. One data point is that our 13-month persistency in the recently disclosed results went up from 87.2% in Q1 of last year to 90.4% in Q1 of this year, and so on. Similarly, our 25th month persistency increased from about 77% to about 82%, and so on. So, this is a good outcome because if you wind back to the start of the pandemic, we were fairly concerned because there was a moratorium that was given quite rightly by our regulator, extending a period in which people can pay their policies. But the only difference versus banks and some of the other lenders was that there was no interest sticker. So there was really no reason why people should pay their policies on time because they were not going to lose anything by paying it later. So that phase did see some level of micromanagement, hand holding, call it what you may, but we were very cognizant that this could go wrong. And happy to say that we've been able to tide over that period, and after that we continue to engage with our customers that this is the time for them to continue paying their policies even more so. Even if they are somewhat cash strapped temporarily, they can take a loan against policy at fairly attractive rates over the counter. No penalty for early payment, once they get some cash flow, rather than lapsing their policy. So all of those initiatives have worked well.
Vibha, before letting you go, my last question is whatever we say, life insurance penetration is still very low in the country. So, according to you, what are the innovations which are very much needed to increase the insurance penetration in India?
Two, three things here, and you're absolutely right. One aspect is that on the back of technology, for us to be able to reach the last mile, and this could be through our new ecosystem partners. We have over 40 new ecosystem partners. So the non-traditional ways of reaching the end consumer, that is number one. Second is product innovation itself. So this is everything from intuitively knowing what the customer is wanting. How do we have bite-sized products wherein a customer can try it out before committing larger sums of money? How can we use or combine our might between a general insurer, a standalone health insurer? Today, they're all in very hard defined silos. How can we join hands to make it a single point of interaction for the customer? And finally, for us to be able to think out of the box, that can we, for example, invest in fintech? Can we invest in insurtech? Can we join hands with NPS? We have a subsidiary, so that we can also evangelize that how people need to save for longer term their retirement and vice versa. So all of this would mean that a deconstructed model, with the purpose of reaching out that message to the last mile, will certainly improve penetration. And the final point there is all the initiatives that the government is doing, whether Jandhan and Aadhaar, and also the more recently in terms of what the regulator is doing on simplified products, products such as PMJJBY under the Pradhan Mantri scheme. All of that means that it's not only the metro customers but also the customers in the rural areas.
Right. Thank you, Vibha, for the wonderful insight. It was nice to hear you, and it was wonderful to get a 360-degree perspective of the life insurance industry from you.
Likewise, thank you so much, Hina.
This was Vibha Padalkar of HDFC Life telling us that though the COVID claims rose in the past, but it won't have much impact on the premium rate. That's the good news for consumers. If you like the video, don't forget to like and subscribe our YouTube channel and follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Thank you for being on Money Night.